students. Today we come together to honor and thank our veterans for their military service. We recognize those who are here in attendance with us today and those who are unable to be here today due to illness and death. With these veterans in mind, please stand in respectful silence for the presentation of the colors by members of the United States Marine Corps. Thank you. You may be seated. The RB Choir, Band, and Orchestra will now perform songs in honor of each branch of the military. Veterans, when you hear your song, please stand or wave. Everyone, please stand when you hear the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem.
United States Army and the Army National Guard.
Fight for the right and to build the nation's right, and the Army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the Army goes rolling along. And it's high, high way, the Army's on its way. Count off the kings of its wrong.
The United States Marines. The United States Navy. The United States Coast Guard. recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please give another round of applause to the RB Choir Band and Orchestra. At this time, I would like to introduce Miss Sandy Chaika and representatives from the Bulldog football team.
We are very proud here at RB of our work over many years in showing our support for our military and the sacrifices they make to protect our freedom. However, our support of veterans is not limited to just this day. This year, the RB football program, under head coach Sam Styler, wanted to once again show their support for veterans and also give back in honor of their service. On October 10th, the football game was designated as Military Appreciation Night. Current and past members of the military were invited to join the players on the field for the national anthem and were honored for their service. The band, POMs, and cheerleaders had special performances to honor the military. And the days leading up to the game and at the game, several fundraisers took place to support Hines VA Hospital. We combined all the money raised, and at this time, on behalf of all the Bulldog coaches, players, students, and staff, football captains Jaden Barrett, Ben Biskubik, Xavier Morozic de Jesus, and Damian Nieves are proud to present a check for $2,252. Veterans Renee Rouse and Beverly Fitch are here to accept this donation on behalf of Hines VA Hospital. Student Association is continuing RB's support of our military with cards for veterans at lunches starting today and continuing next week. Students, please stop by the front of the cafeteria to write a note or sign a card for a veteran at this holiday season. These cards will be given to Fisher House to be distributed in a variety of ways to those veterans who cannot celebrate in person with us today. Thank you in advance for your support of this project. The Bulldogs are proud to honor the sacrifices made by all veterans, past and present, At this time, our students and staff would like to thank all the veterans here today and show you our gratitude. Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, Ms. Chaika. Thank you, football team. Thank you, SA. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the battlefield of Western Europe fell silent. 4 years of war, misery, and bloodshed had come to an end, and many hoped and prayed that this would be the war to end all wars. Unfortunately, this was not the last conflict of the 20th century. The Second World War required the greatest effort of American servicemen and women to defeat Italy, Germany, and Japan. Following the heroic efforts of our military forces in defeating fascism and the subsequent conflict during the Korean War, a day celebrating the end of World War I needed to be expanded to include all of those men and women who served their country. Therefore, in 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower, himself a veteran, designated November 11th as Veterans Day, a day to honor the living and the dead veterans throughout the history of the armed forces. Although the conflicts and wars that have led our servicemen and women around the world have not always been popular, no one can deny their commitment to our country. Dissent is essential to a free society. We can criticize the war, but never condemn the warrior. Veterans who served in the Vietnam War were often treated with condemnation and contempt upon their return to the States. To those veterans treated poorly after serving their country in the Vietnam War, it is never too late to say thanks, to say sorry, and to thank them for serving their country. The veterans of the Vietnam War and their fallen brothers and sisters, whose names appear on the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C., never shrank from the service of their country during that trying time, and therefore deserve the love and thanks of all of us. RB mourns the sacrifice of 4 brave men who made the supreme sacrifice in Vietnam. Second Lieutenant Donald W. Pratt, Staff Sergeant John W. Bezany, Private First Class Anton Bud Jeckman, Specialist Wayne Zack. To those soldiers who are currently serving their country, it is never too late to recognize their courage and duty to protect our freedoms. We hope that our country and government will recognize their service and ensure their safety and security upon arriving home. In October of 2014, the American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial was dedicated in our nation's capital. In his remarks dedicating the memorial, President Obama stated, "Those who have fought for our freedom should never be shunned and should never be forgotten. When our wounded veterans set out on that long road of recovery, we need to move heaven and earth to make sure they get every single benefit, every single bit of care that they have earned, that they deserve." The men and women who are here with us today understand the true meaning of service. The men and women here have chosen to dedicate their lives to the service of our country. It is right that we honor them today for their service. We thank them for standing for freedom and democracy. Following the Battle of Gettysburg, Abraham Lincoln famously wrote, "The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here." These words still ring true 160 years later. Let us not simply remember the words spoken at this assembly, but let us be inspired by the work performed by these veterans who sit before us. Let this inspiration move us toward action as we all work toward bettering our country. In the words of Senator and veteran Tammy Duckworth, it's about whether we'll look out for the hardest hit and the disabled, whether we'll pull together in a time of need, whether we'll refuse to give up until the job is done. We must not turn our backs to these veterans. If they had the courage to face battle, then we must have the courage to see them and work to improve their lives until the job is done. Today at 11 a.m., a wreath will be laid at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers in Arlington National Cemetery. Let us never forget the contributions to our country that the veterans sitting before us and all veterans who are no longer with us have made. We must strive to remember all servicemen and women, not just on this day, but every day, as they defend and protect our freedom. On this day, let us also reaffirm our commitment to peace and pray for all of our soldiers currently serving overseas to return home quickly and safely to their friends and family. Let us also remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and gave their last full measure for this nation. This community is no stranger to that price. In 2003, RB lost one of its own. Private First Class Christopher Sisson made the ultimate sacrifice while serving his country in Iraq. When his funeral procession passed in front of the school, everyone walked out of the building to pay their respects in solemn silence. We should always remember the brave service members like Chris who did not return home, and those sitting before you here today who served with honor, protecting the freedoms we enjoy that we often take for granted. Please give all of these brave men and women a round of applause. Thank them for their bravery, sacrifice, and enduring commitment to our country. Everyone, please stay standing while the color guard from the United States Marine Corps retires the colors. Everyone, please be seated. At this time, I invite second-hour teachers to come down here to find your veteran. Students, please remain seated.